Fuse with Ken, an amazing experience. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Fuse. On today's episode, we'll dive into the world of culinary excellence, entrepreneurship, and sustainability. Our guest is the visionary behind Chophouse Dubai, one of the city's standout restaurants, known for its commitment to quality, innovation, and excellence. I'm speaking about Olutola Oloyede, owner CEO of Chophouse Restaurants. Some people open restaurants, others create experiences. Olutola is someone who has done both turning a passion for food, quality, and innovation into one of Dubai's standout restaurants. Today, we will uncover the journey behind Chop House, the challenges of running a top tier restaurant in Dubai's competitive dining scene, and what it takes to stay ahead in the game. If you have ever dreamt of building something bigger than yourself, this episode is for you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Olutola.
Yeah, good.
How you doing, Olutola?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great and grateful. How's the year been?
Good, good. No, you can't complain. Let me put it that way. Let me put it that way. Yeah,
Okay. So, when I was preparing for this show, I was like, okay, I saw that you have a lot of passion for food, yeah?
No, I'm trying to. Yeah.
So I'm going to be actually talking about why restaurant business, why food, especially for a man, Nigerian man, exactly. So
Yeah.
we're talking about all of that. So as we look at, your journey today, can you walk us through those childhood moments that were definitive into the man you are today?
Yeah, I think like everything I am today, yeah, I owe it to God. Yeah, 100%. Then let me say I owe it to my parents also, because I really had a good upbringing. Like
Okay.
that's where I say like I had a very good upbringing. Like well disciplined. Like I went to good schools, things like that. Yeah. So let me say I owe it to my parents. Yeah.
Amazing. So, before you came to Dubai,
Yeah.
what were you doing in Nigeria? Did you study and all
Yeah, I
of that?
did. I came to Dubai immediately after my university education.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what you did in university was it related to food?
Nah. I went to Federal University of Technology, Mina. That was
Okay.
in Niger State. That was northern part of Nigeria.
All right.
So I studied transport management technology.
And oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming
No,
though.
I studied transport. I have a
Okay.
BTech. I have a Bachelor of Technology. Yeah, in
All right.
transport management technology. Yeah, but for me, actually, not that like I've always had interest in school. Like I've never like had the thought of I want to not for once, because my parents are well educated, things like that. So we have that mindset from the beginning. But one mindset I have had from like since I was a kid was like I will never work for anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my mindset. So I know that going to school is just for the knowledge, the education, the exposure. So, but one mindset I had, like, I will never work for anyone. Like, that's just
Okay.
my mindset.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
growing up as a kid in Nigeria, what did you dream of?
Actually, like the thing is, growing up as a kid in Nigeria, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer.
Okay.
Growing up as a kid, so I think back then there was no school. I don't know if they have right now. There was no school offering that course.
Okay.
So my dad back then was like, okay, this is what you will do. Like, why not study mechanical engineering because it's related? Then you further when you're done with your university. But then, like, I didn't meet up with the cutoff of mechanical engineering. So
Alright.
they were like, okay, I got admitted to study transport management technology. So after the first day, I was planning to switch department, but I'm like, nah, I'm liking this. So
I'm
stayed.
good here.
Yeah. Because I could see the struggle my fellow students in that department was going through.
Alright.
I'm like, nah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, so what you really wanted, you couldn't get it at the time, and you went to something else, and you decided to stay there.
No, yeah.
Okay, and you left. According to what you said from the beginning of the show, you said you immediately after school you came to Dubai.
Yeah.
Why Dubai?
I just felt, where can I go? I was young. Like I was really young then. Like
How young were you when you came?
I was like I'm coming at 9 I'm thinking that's I think I was 22 or 23. Yeah. When
Okay.
I came, yeah. So like I was really young, so I was like, okay. So the way like Nigerian passports is, you need to apply for
Visas and
visa,
all of that.
and
Yeah.
back then like Dubai visa like is
It
just
was so easy, right?
48 hours you have your visa. So after my university, after my NYC, I'm like, no, I can't stay here. So I just came to Dubai. I actually came first with a 3-month visa. I'm like, wow, I love this place. So I just decided, yeah, this is it. This is where I'm staying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before came to Dubai, I know you've been able to establish the fact that you had a very good support from your family, which I think that's amazing. I know you come from Yoruba, the tribe
Yeah, I'm your
Yoruba, and
yeah.
they're very family are very reserved, and all of that.
My family is reserved, but why growing up, my mom was strict. Like why growing up?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
how did that influence your decisions in life as a young man, especially leaving Nigeria at the time at
Mm,
23?
my mom being strict, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually has me like disciplined, because even like as an adult now, making decisions on my own, those things I learned back then, those things I went through back then while I was with my parents, I still apply them in my day-to-day activity. Like I'm like,
Okay.
nah, you were not brought up like this. No, you can't do this. Now, okay, this is the right thing. Or you need to wake up, you need to do this, or don't procrastinate, or this is the way it is done.
I like the fact
Yeah.
that you have to say that because this show basically is for younger people, and we need to understand that our parents are there to give us those foundational training that shapes us into the person we'll become.
No, that really matters a lot, to be honest. Yeah, because I'm sorry to say, but when you actually, I don't know if you can like say this or here,
Oh,
but
of
if
course,
you,
go
if you if
ahead.
you actually if you actually check our community today, like some people actually, I'm sorry to say, but some people actually are like foolish, not because they choose to, but it's because of how they were being raised. The
Okay.
kind of decision they actually make is due to how they were being raised. Some people were actually raised right,
Okay.
and they choose to do
Something
the
else,
opposite.
of course.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay.
But some people, when you check what they do, you will actually see the traits in their parents also. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
But it's facts, let's be honest.
All right.
Yeah.
Say,
yeah.
I would at some point agree with what you're saying because it is often said that family is the primary, agent of socialization.
Yeah.
All right. So if you are a product of where you come
Yeah,
from,
God bless you. You feel me? Yeah.
all right,
Where you come from, yeah.
yes,
You can
you can
you're a product
deviate.
of where you come from, but at the same time, you can choose not to be a product of where you come from if it's not giving.
I like
Yeah.
that.
If it's not giving. Yeah.
I like that, but
Yeah.
one thing we need to know, especially for Africans, we come from a very reserved culture.
Yeah.
So even not just the UAE, not just Dubai, in other parts
Generally
of
in
the world,
Africa,
okay?
yeah.
So, but sometimes when we leave the shores of the country, we forget our roots. And
facts.
I think that's what younger people need to know. We have the Japa syndrome already in the country, back home in Nigeria, and everybody wants to Japa, right?
Yeah.
And they want to leave, and when they leave, they come to
forget where they
into a
coming
foreign
from.
country and they forget their roots.
Yeah, true.
And tradition. I'm Igbo, by the way.
Oh yeah, Yoruba.
Yeah, I'm Igbo. I'm Igbo.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
Igbo. But traditionally, I know that the Yorubas are very, very, decent, very decorous. Let me use the word decorous. They build so much in respect.
Yeah,
And
that's,
all of that.
That's the first thing. That's the first
Respect.
thing.
When you meet a Yoruba guy, he's like going to dobale,
Like,
right? And it even affects him. My best friend is actually a Yoruba guy,
yeah.
and I see the way that he handles
people,
things.
yeah.
You could show, but even sometimes you can.
no,
Let's not even go there. By the way, let's not go there. But
but
let's look at your journey. Basically, let's dive into because I'm curious.
yeah.
Why restaurant business? Why food business of all businesses?
Oh yeah.
As a young man.
Okay, like when I moved to Dubai, like basically what I do is all the money I was making, like any little thing I make, like I invest back in Nigeria.
Okay.
So that's how I get to have my real estate business in Nigeria.
Oh, you own a real estate venture in Nigeria?
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. So I invest back in Nigeria. I invest. So fast forward to everything I was making, I was investing in Nigeria. So fast forward to 2019 when my mom came to Dubai. Then I remember I used to live in Marina. So we're having like all this like late night conversation. So I'm like, Mom, like I actually want to open it. Like the thing just popped up. Cause while growing up, I go to events with my mom because she's a big time caterer back in Nigeria. So I go.
So okay, so the love for food runs in the genes.
Yeah. So I go to events with her, like I help her with stuff. Our chefs, like I help them, okay, do this, do this. So like I have the knowledge, like I know everything about food. So I was like, yeah, mom, like I'm thinking of opening. No, I didn't say restaurant. I'm thinking of opening like a lounge.
Okay.
So then I did the estimates. When I did the estimates, she was like, yeah, it's a cool idea, it's a good idea. Go for it. So I did it. I was actually meant to open a place like City Walk, Business Bay back then.
Okay.
So I did the estimate. She was like, yeah, go for it. Then the next day, because she was staying at my then, so I was like, mom, I don't think it's possible because the kind of savings I have now is not up to
Okay.
what I'm meant to invest in it. So she was like, oh no, okay, let's do it this way. Instead of opening a lounge, why not just start with just food? So I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So I did the estimate again. So I still told her that, mom, I can't put this kind of money into a new business that I've not ventured into before. So she was like, you know the way food business is, like you can never run at a loss. Like you know the way food business is. So she was like, okay, do this, change your location. Instead of looking at places, like she was like, just start somewhere since you have this in mind already. Because I know you, if you have something in mind, you actually want to do it. So that was how I ended up at JLT.
Okay.
So, but back then I was still like, no. So she was like, okay, don't worry, I'll tell your dad about this. So she and my dad, like, they actually supported me.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. When do they? I give them their money back.
But at least there was a form of support.
They actually supported me when I started. Yeah.
All right.
So that was how I get to start. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I asked the question of why restaurant business, now you were able to tell us that it runs in the genes, right?
Yeah.
Your mom was into food and all of that, and you got the support. Because I was going to ask you, because putting up that kind of business at that time, coming from Nigeria, I was going to ask you your support, but it's very nice to know that you had a very supportive parent.
Yeah, I do.
Not even parents, but parents, because both your dad and your mom supported you. And because me, I would not say I'm a mommy's boy, but I think I share the same values with you when it comes to mothers. My mother is my first love. Like I tell her
No,
everything.
for
Yeah.
me, while growing up as a kid, I was daddy's boy because I'm the only son.
Okay.
Yeah, I was daddy's boy. But it got to a point I wasn't daddy's boy again. I was even up to now, I'm a mommy's boy.
So are you
Why?
saying categorically you're a mommy's boy?
Not that I'm a mommy's boy, but okay, let me say like I'm very close with my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when you say mommy's boy, people
Yeah, I
like,
feel you. Yeah, I
you
feel
know.
you. Nah, but I'm very close with my mom. Like we have that unique connection.
Amazing.
Yeah, at least I speak with my mom like at least like 4 times in a week. Yeah, like lengthy conversation over the phone. Yeah.
And of course, like I could tell that would obviously inform your decision and keep you actually on your feet
Yeah,
and make you get to your destination. But let's look at the competitive F&B market in Dubai, and how are you able to thrive in such a very competitive market when you started off?
When I started, I think I won't say African restaurants in Dubai is that competitive.
Okay.
Yeah, because if the clients are actually, if your target market are actually aware of what you're selling, being an African restaurant, I won't say it's not that competitive compared to other cuisines. Okay, let's just, if you go downstairs, if you walk like, let's say like 2 minutes, you see burgers everywhere.
All right.
Yeah. Like how many African restaurants can you count in Dubai? Like real restaurants can you count in Dubai? Just few.
Yeah.
So I won't call. And if it was a potential clients are actually in the country, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
One restaurant can serve all Africans. One African restaurant can serve. So you should share. Let me put. So I don't see that as competition. Yeah, I don't really see that. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I understand your point.
I don't see that as being competitive
All
compared
right.
to like Chinese cuisine, Lebanon. Like it's everywhere, but African restaurants is not everywhere in Dubai. It's,
Okay.
I don't think if you can't, I don't think it's up to 20. I don't think.
Okay. But if we look at the food space, the food
Yes, sir.
scene in Dubai, especially for the African market, for someone watching this show right now, of course, I'm thinking of, okay, maybe should I start up a restaurant for African food and all of that? What do you think are those basic things that they must know, essential things? Because you're successful in this business,
First thing first, like you need to pick your target market. You need to pick your target market.
Okay.
Because for someone like me, like I know my target market already. Like people that actually like I want to say to.
I like the honesty because when we talk about Chop House, Dubai, it's a restaurant that when the celebrities come in, that's where they come. All right.
You understand?
When the big guns come in, that's where they come. All right.
Yeah.
So it is fair to say that for every business, there's always a target market.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I will stop her. You need to know your target market. I will not progress. I will not go for that.
All right, amazing stuff.
Okay.
So, you first things first. You said they need to know their target market.
Yeah.
Apart from knowing their target market, what other things must they know? Because let's look at entrepreneurship. People want to know, okay, I'm starting off a business. What do I know? And this is a young man that has been successful in this business. So, what are those few things I can pick from him as the foundation for starting off a business like that?
Okay, yeah. First thing first, like you have to know your target market first.
Okay.
And just the moment you just make that decision that, oh, I want to start a business, even if the business is about selling water, just have it in mind that Rome was never ever built in a day.
Okay.
Just have it in mind that, and there will be days whereby you will go home so happy, like you will be like, wow, I did this, like I made this for myself, and have it at the back of your mind that there will still be nights you will still go, you'll be like, God, why? Just have that at the back of your mind. That's just the way I would say. Like to me, like my point of view, see, business is like it's a legal gamble.
Why would you say that?
A new business is a legal gamble, trust me, because you never know if it's going to be successful or not.
Okay.
A new business is it'd be like, okay, let me try this. There's nothing like it's 100% in a new business now. There's nothing like that in a new business. It's a new business. You can't tell me it's 100%. No.
I could agree with you at some point because according to reports, most startups, fail in their first year.
Bro.
So I could understand, but for someone trying to start up a business, especially the restaurant business, they should understand that okay, there's a likelihood that it might fail.
No, restaurant business is actually, like I said, like the competition in African, what's it called?
The African scene
is less, like
compared to other
other
scenes.
but still like doesn't mean it's a sure hard, like like it can actually get crazy at times.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for restaurants in Dubai.
I would ask you one particular question, which seems fair.
Okay.
What keeps you inspired and creative in this restaurant business, especially in the African scene?
Okay, first thing first, for me, whatever business I venture into, I make sure it's what I like. Because even when it's not working out, I don't get bored.
Oh, okay.
Whatever business, be it the restaurant business, really any business I'm doing, I make sure it's actually what I like to do. So that's one thing. I love food. Like I love to cook. I love the whole business. I love the whole F&B scene.
Okay.
Yeah. Then another thing is I've never been a failure. I'm always like, I started is like I can never fail. Like I have to be successful. You get, like I've never been a failure. So that alone, I wake up every morning and be like, okay, oh, it was successful yesterday. Okay, how can we upgrade? Oh, it wasn't successful yesterday. Okay, today we go again. So that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what inspires you the most?
I'll say the most. I'll say just my zeal for success. That's just me. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if that's you, when you wake up in the morning, what gets you up in the morning? Because I'm very curious to know. Because I feel
What actually gets me up in the
what gets
morning?
you up in the morning?
say I used to say something to be okay. I used to like make a joke, but at the same time, it's not a joke. Say first thing first, coming to this life as a man, life is leading you 1-0 already. No, to be honest.
Okay, all
Coming
right.
to this world as a man, life is leading you like 1-0 already.
All right.
Coming to this life as a black man, life is leading you 3-0 already. Then coming to this life as a black Nigerian man, bro, trust me, life is leading you 10-0. So the odds are actually against you. So you have to be like, no, I'm doing this. Like, you have to be successful. So that's just me every morning. I'm like, nah. And I would say, like I say this to people. I'll be like, even if I don't want to wake up, my taste for success wake me up that, bro, like you need to wake up. You need to keep going.
So if you're talking to that young Nigerian man,
Yeah.
you know, or probably a lady sitting somewhere in Nigeria or sitting somewhere in other parts of the world,
Yeah.
and you know, struggling to find their path, what would be your, you know, words of encouragement?
Just be out. For me, I would say you have to have that hunger in you. Like you have to be hungry for, oh, I want to do this. Like I want to do this. And you have to be like, okay, you can tell yourself I want to do this. It's two different things. I want to do this and I can do this. You have to be like, I want to do this. Oh yes, I can do this. Then go for it. You know, most people don't get things done because they are scared. No one plans to fail, but there's no hero in trying. There's no shame in like if you fail. It's not a shameful. At least you tried. What if you are successful in it? So just do just go for whatever you want. Like that thing you want to do, that business you want to do, try it first. The business won't execute it. The project won't execute itself if you are sitting down. Just do it first. And if it's successful, fine. If it's not, lesson learned. Then you move on.
Talking about lessons learned, so far in your entrepreneurship, you know, journey, what are those lessons you've learned, especially in the restaurant scene?
In the restaurants, yeah, it's
restaurant
actually
scene.
applicable to like every aspect of my life. I would say like because I'm always like big on trust. Man, like don't give people your 100% trust, you know. Yeah. Let me just put it that way.
Why would you say that?
Because I've dealt with a lot of people. You know the way Chophouse is like let's say it's more like top 3 African restaurants in Dubai.
Of course, no doubt.
So like
take your flowers.
I've actually met a lot of people, both customers, workers. Like I've met a lot of people, and I've seen the way human nature is. You can't just, people don't even trust themselves. So why will you give someone your 100%?
But people say trust is end.
Then trust is end, but there's boundaries. Like for me, maybe because that's just me. You can earn my trust, but that doesn't mean I'm giving you my 100%. You are not my dad or you are not my mom, so that's it.
So you feel like, okay, despite the friendship or connection, there's a likelihood that the person might do something funny.
Yeah.
From your experience, is that what you realize from life?
Yeah, it's life. It's normal. That's just the way humans are. It's life.
So if you could change something in the restaurant, you know, scene, what would that be?
I could change something in Dubai.
Yeah.
For African cuisine or what?
Generally, because I could say you're actually an authority in the, you know, in the F&B
Maybe I would
market.
say the setting up. Setting up a restaurant in Dubai is not easy as it seems. Starting from the paperwork, inspections, things like that. Yeah, but I don't think. Oh, that's what you mean, right?
Oh yeah. So no, I just wanted to know because having been able to run a business like that for years, people look up to you.
Yeah, for sure. I know I inspire a lot of youngins. I know that.
You know, right?
No, worry,
so,
I know that.
You know, so a lot of people are like, oh,
no, I myself, I know I inspire a lot of youngins.
You know,
they won't say it, but I know I do.
You know, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, and they see this post. I'm like, okay, Chophouse is speaking. Let's listen.
Yeah.
So, if you could change one thing, you know, in the restaurant business, not just Dubai, let's say, any part of the world, what would that be? Because you could say, yeah, I can speak. I'm an authority in this business.
Okay, let me give you an instance. Okay, like I said, that I know I inspire a lot of, but they will say
I love
it.
youngies, right?
Before Chophouse, what I noticed is most African restaurants, they just bring chairs and tables. You're like, oh, let's just serve people food. People should just sit down. They should just be okay. But when I came, like the interior, because we used to be, you've been there before, like
Yeah, of course.
cluster B.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were in cluster B, when we had this dining area, like everything was looking so nice. Like interior was looking though, clean environment, everything. I actually feel I changed that. Like, no, you can't just say because it's African food, you bring that or mama sport vibe. Let the food be like African vibe, but like the environment should be more classy, like. So I believe I changed that in the African food scene in Dubai.
Amazing. Because
Yeah.
when any celebrity, Nigerian celebrity comes to Dubai,
Yeah.
Chophouse, you know what it
No,
is?
you have to come to Chophouse. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
And
And
that was really like helped my business a lot. Like,
okay.
yeah.
Amazing stuff. So let's look at it. You spoke about the lessons you learned in life while running Chophouse, but let's look at leadership, because as an entrepreneur, leadership is key.
Yeah.
What lessons have you learned about leadership while running Chophouse?
About leadership, like I feel being a leader. Okay, they said there's this thing. People will be like, oh, but there should be exceptions. Being a leader, just stand by your rules. Like, don't bend your rules for people. No, especially like.
But there can be exceptions, isn't it?
Not at that point when you are a leader. There can be exceptions when you are with your friends, when you are with your business partners. When you're with your business partners, you're not a leader. You guys are more on like the same level colleagues. Yeah, there can be exceptions to your personal life rules, but being a leader, like just stand on your toes. Like don't bend your rules for anyone. Yeah.
A is A, B is
A
B.
is A, B is B to me. Not that you're not friendly, but you're just disciplined.
What's your perception of discipline?
Standing on your toes, like A is A, B is B. Yeah.
Regardless,
yeah. Like, nah, we're not doing that. Yeah. That's discipline. Yeah. No, this is what we are doing. This is how I do it. That doesn't mean being a leader, that doesn't mean you are not open to learn new things. You can stand on your toes and still be able to learn new things. Okay, maybe that's why, okay, iPhones have upgrade. That's okay, you upgrade that. Okay, this is the new style now. Then you stand with that again. Oh, okay. This is the new, then you stand with that. Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good to understand certain values. When you see an entrepreneur that has been able to, do business for a couple of years and been able to leave a mark, it's good to understand their values, their value system, their thought pattern. This helps us to understand who the person really is and what the person has really done over the years. But let's look at food in detail. What's your favorite dish in Chophouse menu?
God. My favorite dish, actually, almost, God. When I first opened Chophouse for like 6 months straight, I was eating pando and egusi every blessed day.
Are you serious?
And I gained a lot of pounds. God, nah. That was actually, up to now, I can say that was actually my favorite dish. Yeah, pando and egusi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I can ask you about food and not talk about jollof.
Nah.
Nigeria jollof or Kenyan jollof?
It's more like you asking me like, oh, is the food at your restaurant good? Even if it's not good, like I will tell you it's good, but trust me, it's good. That aside, it's always going to be Nigeria jollof. Always like.
I've had conversations with people, right? And of course, I've heard people say,
Don't get me wrong, Ghana jollof is really nice. It's really nice.
Okay.
But Nigeria jollof, there's this thing to it that is just, for me, my taste, but my opinion, like, I'll pick Nigeria jollof. It's not always about, everything does not have to be X every time.
You had to say that. You had to say that.
Everything does not always have to be X. Nah. To me, like, I'll pick Nigeria jollof, and trust me, like, Chophouse has the best Nigeria jollof in Dubai. Like,
I feel you, man.
Like everywhere.
100. Okay, so let's look at one particular thing. Because you said you love food and you love to cook.
No, I used to love food. But I still love to cook. But I don't get to do that every time now. Yeah.
Okay, so are you a cook at home, or do you prefer to let others do the kitchen stuff?
Oh, there are times when I feel like eating my own food. But that's just once in a while. But there are times I actually feel like eating my own food. And when I feel that way, I just call the restaurant, okay, like send me this, the ingredient for the food, then I make it myself. But just once in a while. But mostly I eat from my restaurant and other restaurant. Like, but yeah.
Because sometimes there's this notion of people that know how to cook or people that are very good in cooking, and they say, um, you know, I just like to do my thing, I like to prepare my meals. I've had conversation with women, and they
So
tell you,
that statement is for someone, I'm sorry to say, but it's for someone who doesn't have a lot on their plates. Okay, imagine the time I went to bed. I woke up 10 a.m. because of this podcast. I'm here. And when I leave here, I still have a meeting. I need to go to the restaurant.
okay,
I still need to go to work out this evening
yeah,
back home. So please, when is the time for me to say, oh, I like to cook my own food? No, so I'll just say that says actually for someone that does not have a lot on their plate.
okay,
They have more than enough time. Yeah.
okay. So for you, yes, you love to cook,
I love
you
to
love
cook.
food,
Yeah.
but sometimes some people have to do it. Yeah.
People have to do it.
Amazing, amazing stuff. So let's look at one mistake you made in your life that really shaped you the most. Because whether we like it or not, we make mistakes in life. And why I say this is because people learn from other people's mistakes. All right.
Yeah.
So what mistake would you say, okay, I made this mistake and it shaped me the most. I learned a lot from this mistake, and other persons should learn also.
Yeah, I think just for me, I would say there are some people like you just keep it simple at I, then keep moving like
Keep it simple.
at I, like hello, just done. You don't understand what I mean by that is
Yeah.
there are some people you don't, because there was a time like I have a lot of friends, like I keep a lot of people.
What's the
close to
idea
me.
of friends or friendship? You circle.
If I call you my friend, that means you're my sister, you're my brother. Yeah, that's because I'm very big on the word friends. Most people I know now are more like acquaintances. Now I have just like few friends, yeah. Like very, very few. Like my circle is really small. Like having a big circle is not a flex. Like it's not.
It is often said that
It's
your
not a
network
flex.
is your net worth.
That doesn't mean they are your friends.
Okay.
Your network doesn't mean they are your friends. Yeah, it can be like close acquaintances. Yeah.
When we talk about friendships,
You
here,
need to
circle.
network. It's 100%. You
Yeah.
can never be successful if you don't know the right people. You have to have the right contact on your phone that if this happen, if I need this is who to call. And not that this is who to call, this is who I'm going to call and I will get it done. People actually know me for that. Like, for if I'll be like, don't worry, I know who to call. Don't worry. Like, I'm like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry. Okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow I'll get back to you. I know who to call. I'll call one or two people. I'll fix this. Yeah. I am like that. Like, I actually built myself like that.
How did you build yourself like that? Because we need to know.
It's-
Because if you're like the go-to person, that's nice.
One thing about life that I've actually realized, you need to have a personality in life. It's not but that's how I'll go back again to my parents. Like it's just an inbuilt thing. You have to have a personality. You can't buy class.
You can't
You can't
let
buy
that
class.
sink in.
Yeah, you can't
Wow.
buy. Just have like a personality. Like, oh, he's the man. Like, yeah. He can get it done. And with time, like over time, you elevate. You build yourself.
When we talk about friendship, I want to stick on friendship because as young people, we make a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So at some point, when we look at friendship, we look at people that are loyal to you. All right. So what's your idea of loyalty in friendships?
My idea of loyalty, just stay loyal. Like, just have my back. Have my back. Like, and what you won't like me to do to you, don't do it to me. That thing you won't like me to do to you,
Okay.
I don't know if that sinks, like, don't do it to me. Yeah.
Okay. You know, if we look at friendship, we could sit here and talk about it for like an hour.
Yeah.
Because social interaction, it's top on the list when we look at people and all of that. But the reason why I asked that question is because when we look at a successful young man like you, we look at the values you have, we look at the associations you have, we look at your habits.
Yeah.
Like you rightly said, you inspire a lot of youngies. And when people watch this show, all right, they're gonna like, okay, Chophouse is speaking, let's listen, right?
Yeah.
So what is that habit that has contributed to your success? Like if you could pick out one particular habit and say, okay, Tola, this is one habit that I've been doing over the years that's really helped me to be successful in this business or in my life.
Yeah.
What's that particular habit?
One, don't procrastinate, and have that drive. Like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier. Have that seeker's drive for success. Like, I want to, like, I need to get this done. I need to make this happen. Even when you fail, go again. Yeah. I be like, I don't procrastinate. Once I say, like, I'm doing this, like, I am doing this. If I say, like, everyone around me even knows that, like, if I say I'm doing this thing, I'm getting this thing, I'm buying this thing, trust me, I'm doing it. I don't care about the time. Trust me, I will do it.
But usually we come across excuses. People say, I can't do this thing because of XYZ. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of that. Usually one of the hurdles,
First thing first, let's say, that's the mindset. There's nothing you can do. But at the same time, saying there's nothing you can do doesn't mean you should set goals that even in your heart of hearts, you yourself, bro. It's more like me, let's be honest, it's more like me saying, oh, tomorrow I'm buying a jet, bro. Like, why are you fooling yourself? Be real to yourself, let me put it that way. But
being real to yourself.
just be real with yourself. You know your ability. It's not that you won't try to, like, aim higher. Try to aim higher, but at the same time, one side, be real with yourself that, oh yeah, that's realistic. And the way, okay, I think Dubai has actually helped me a lot, because back in the days, there are some things that I see. Once I see it, this thing keeps ringing in my head. I'll be like, man, for this guy to be able to do this, for this guy to be able to achieve something like this, he has just one head. Like, he doesn't have two heads. Yeah, sure, I can do it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'll be like, for him to be able to do it, for her to be like, I can do it, they have just one head. Yeah. So that's just me.
See, I would say one thing about that. When we look at achieving things or taking action, is a very big topic, and it's very personal to me because, young the youths, okay, in Africa, there are constraints, right? No family supports, lack of finances, no conducive environment.
It's not all, not, even some people, it's just fine. The upbringing matters, but at the same time, when they train you, try again to train yourself. I have people that grow up with that their parents are wealthy. I mean, like, real wealth. I'm not trying to, like, speak down on them, but today, like, they are nowhere to be found because they rely too much. They have the family support if they need it, but they are just on serious things like that. So it's not everyone that doesn't have family support. Some people actually have the support, but they are not ready to make use of it.
Okay.
Yeah, some people actually do.
That makes a lot of sense, by the way. And I hope you watching this, that young kid or that young adult, that Nigerian African watching this show right now, you could actually know that anything is possible. Just put your heart to it. Work it out. Wake up in the morning, chase it, and of course you get those results. Now let's look at risk taken. Anytime I speak to any businessman, any entrepreneur, I like to ask, what's your view on risk taken, and what's the biggest risk you've taken so far in your life?
In my life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think coming to I would say it was my first time in Dubai. It's actually a risk. Because left to my dad, like he actually wanted me to like get like a proper job. Like, oh, cause even before I got on with my uni, he's always like, oh, you work for this person. Okay, don't worry. When you're done, I'll call this person. Don't worry, this. Cause my dad is a chartered accountant back in Nigeria.
Oh,
Yeah,
corporate nine
yeah,
to five,
corporate 9 to 5, my yeah, and he works like he audits. He also did this auditing thing.
Yeah.
He has the network. He knows a lot of people too. So he's always like, don't worry, I'll call this. So me leaving that in one place that now I ain't working for no one, then trying to find my own path, I think is a really big risk.
And we
It
could
actually,
say that it
yeah,
paid
it
off.
actually did. Yeah. I would say that's actually the biggest thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that with us. And let's look at something, we'll look at, running the restaurant business. What's one mistake that you think many restaurant owners make when they go into this venture?
When I actually went to the event in Dubai, let me put it that way, because like my mom, she's a caterer, my sisters are chefs back home. So, and I know the business, but trust me, restaurant business in Nigeria is different from restaurant business in Dubai. So I was having that Nigerian view the first few months I started, but it's a whole lot of two different things, trust me. So just let me say the market is different. Let me just put it. And me having that view, it's actually a mistake. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you could correct that.
No, I already did. No, I already did.
Okay.
No, don't worry. Now I know the business. I know the way it actually works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And amazing. So let's look at, something I like to talk about when I speak with somebody that went through some processes to get into where they are right
Yeah.
now. If you could actually go back to when you started, the beginning of this journey, what would you do differently?
The beginning of this journey of the restaurant business
Yes.
differently. Trust me, I don't think I'll do anything different. Like maybe get a bigger space, but there's no.
So you think that the actions you took at the time to get to where you are now, if you could redo the journey, you do exact same thing.
I'll do exact same thing, but I'll put in like a better upgrade.
When you talk about upgrade, how do you mean?
I'll make it more like fancy, like more. I can't keep giving people the same thing. You get tired of that. Like I'll put it. Let me just. I'll make it more fancy. Yeah, but I don't think there's any major thing to change. It's food. It's not a. It's not a Rolls Royce that you need to change the model every
But
day.
if we talk about food and talk about what you give or the services that you give at Chophouse, what would say is luxury?
The comfort alone is luxury.
And probably some persons
taste.
might not be able to, start off like that. They might love the restaurant business. They might love to, go into that, but they may not have all that, capital and funds. But for you, it's all about the idea. You believe that having the idea first is the first thing, then taking action is the second.
Second, yeah.
But sitting there and wallowing in excuses doesn't do anything,
No, it hasn't
right?
done anything, yeah.
So as we're looking to wrap up the episode today, because it's been an amazing time, trust me, and you're very honest and real. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. So, what would be your, best piece of advice conclusively to anyone watching this right now on the need to take action, and not give excuses, on the need to, open up something, a business, because you're a businessman. And I think we as Africans, we need to start looking at the business point of things, not just getting a 9 to 5. Yeah.
Really?
So what would be your piece of advice conclusively?
I'll just say the first thing first, be disciplined, like, and don't let anyone tell you, oh, that's too much, you can't do this. Like, don't limit yourself. Like, be disciplined, don't limit yourself, and be real with yourself. Like I said earlier, be real with yourself. Don't limit yourself doesn't mean you don't have to be real with yourself. You have to make sure that, oh yeah, I can actually achieve this. I've seen this person doing this, and I can actually do times 10 of this. Everyone knows their ability. Everyone knows what they are capable of.
Okay.
Yeah. If I go out, like, I know, like, oh, today I can actually make 10. You've gone through that phase before.
Okay.
So you know you can actually make 10. If you know you can actually make 10, that means you can actually make 20. I don't know if you feel me.
Okay.
Me making 10, that doesn't mean I should say, man, I want to make 10,000.
You could do more.
Yeah. You can actually do more, but at the same time, there's no limits, but be real with yourself.
100.
Yeah. Don't just talk for talking's sake. Like, don't blab. Like, don't be like, oh, my people will say, I say long so. Don't say I say.
Okay. All right. So I cannot leave you without asking you this particular question.
Yeah.
You know, what's your view on relationships and love?
Relationship and love.
Yeah. Romantic relationships and love.
You can actually have a romantic relationship and love. It actually exists, but one thing for me, I don't believe it's just my mindset. Like, it's really hard. The way love is back in our what's called parents' generation is different from the way it is now. Let's be real and honest with ourselves. Money is actually more like love. Because even myself, when I don't have money, I don't love myself.
That's serious.
I don't love myself.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's 100%. And secondly, for me, I don't believe someone can actually love another person for like 20 good years in this age and time, bro. No, I don't believe that. Like, no.
What if someone makes you, change that belief? You find someone that loves you so well, and
It's fine if they love me so well, but it's just I believe there's a time frame for everything. It's just for the time. Like, there'll be time, they'll be fine with the love. Me too, like, I can actually see someone I love, but I don't believe I can actually love someone. Apart from my parents, my sisters, I don't believe I can love someone for like straight 20, 30 years. I don't believe that.
personally, you feel
That's just
you have
the way-
intentions of getting married?
No, we talk about that, but I don't right now. Like, I don't. To be honest, my point of view, I don't believe in marriage. I don't. It's not my thing.
Why?
Because I don't just believe. Like I said, I don't believe in marriage. It's fine if you have someone you love, like, taking care of. Yeah. But getting married, I don't believe in it.
Because as a Yoruba man, raised from a very, reserved culture, one might question, why would you say you don't believe in marriage? You don't believe.
It's just the society making it seem a man must live with a woman inside the same house. It's not for everyone.
Okay, so marriage is not for you, you think so?
I think so, yeah, because I can actually be a bit.
I like the honesty. I like the honesty. All right. Amazing.
For me, like, I can actually like love someone, take good care of them, things like that. But getting married is not for me. I don't right now at this point of my life, I don't believe in it. Maybe I can wake up tomorrow and that perspective will change. But right now, like, no, I don't believe in marriage.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tola, for coming to the show today. And thank you for your, nuggets. Thank you for sharing your experience, your journey. I know someone watching this would actually learn a few things from this. And of course, Chophouse is some restaurant that I love to love. And that's it on today's episode of Fuse. And the journey of building Chophouse journey, is a reminder that success isn't just about the end result. It's about staying focused, learning from failures, and believing in your vision, even when the road gets tough. I guess today has shown us that it is, passion that takes, whatever you want to do, getting the results that you need. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment, as your support is really appreciated. Thank you so much, and bye for now.